Today, the international community has taken a significant, considerate, and historic step forward by adopting this landmark resolution declaring the trafficking of enslaved Africans and the racialized chattel enslavement of Africans as the gravest crime against humanity. With the adoption of this resolution, Resolution A/80/L48, we have not simply passed a text, we have affirmed a truth. We have chosen remembrance over silence, dignity over erasure, and shared humanity over division. We have advanced the cause of justice, and we have done that so emphatically. Those who voted in favor, 123 member states of the United Nations. 52 abstained, and only 3 voted against. This is an emphatic victory for justice.
Boom. This is Julian.
This is Carl, you know.
Welcome to the late night rap.
Where we
Carl,
give straight facts.
Well, go on, Carl.
Well, I'm there. I watch all the happenings in the world. I'm quite fine. I'm there, I recline a whole heap of things for my mind, you know.
All right, cool. That was an apt prompt. Because we're discussing something, a moment on the global stage that's historical and possibly consequential. And we're talking about the UN resolution on slavery. Now, for those of you who don't know, the UN voted recently to declare, to recognize slavery, the transatlantic slave trade, as the gravest crime against humanity. Now, for many, this is more than just symbolic language. Now, for a lot of people of African descent, right, this is a step, albeit a small one, to finally, recognizing the injustice of the transatlantic slave trade and possibly, finally, moving towards some form of reparatory justice. As with most pivotal moments, there is not unanimous agreement. Notably, the United States, Israel, and Argentina voted against the resolution that I should note was brought by Ghana, right? And there are some dissenting voices, even among people of African descent, right? Who've expressed concern about Ghana being the one to bring the resolution, right? So, open the floor. Karen, give me your thoughts.
All right. 152 countries voted.
123 voted for, 3 voted against.
Voted for.
Yeah.
3 voted against, and 52 abstained.
Yes, it should be noted, my fault, I neglected to say, that the entire European Union, the EU members,
Abstained.
Yeah. That's right. Go on. Go on.
Now, we have to take the thing in our context, and really see how a man reason why I'm reason. Now, Europe now, they abstained. And in my view, them abstained because, 1, economic reason, and 2, them neither vote yes or no. And them really don't vote no because they don't want to be at this time to be perceived to be inherently racist. That's as a continent, right? Mm-hmm. Economically, this resolution passed. It's not legally binding, but it can open up an argument for reparations.
Right.
While not every European country were the architects, the main architects of the transatlantic slave trade. Many of them were. So it have its economic, what will I say, effects on them if reparations were to come involved. So if we put ourselves in the European man sandals and walk in it for a mile, we'd understand why them take that stance there politically. See? You know, that vote there. Now, big up to the country them. We say yes and recognize say that's something there, that transatlantic slave trade, that the gravest thing. It remember, you know, that transatlantic slave trade, it involved murder, human trafficking, rape, and robbery. All in one, and a whole lot of other things. Whole lot of other crimes. Right? So, big up to them country there. No. Them three countries, I will say no. All right. America. We could talk about America now. We'll pick them apart one by one. And in my case, in my mind, we're going to save the best for last. America now, not care who was going to be. We're going to say now, we can look on the present political state of America and the present people them who have control of the reins of power in America right now and say, well, them man now, they never vote that way there. But historically, don't care who was the president and which party did I lead, I don't think you'll get a different vote from America. This is the country where they not support the dismantling of apartheid. See? This is a country where our sordid past as it relates to slavery, a war fight, yes, so over for free black people, you know. Now, reparations is still a burning issue in America. While we do some little research and find out, say, just after the Civil War, a couple black people did in fact, through the Reconstruction thing, did in fact get them 40 acres and a mule. But it stopped now after the Lincoln assassination and the man were named Robert Lee and Andrew Jackson, them two men there, because them never want to irritate the people them in the South who were the main man them who are pushed for slavery go on and the inequality of the races. Them kind of end it to get them to come back in the Union of States. Because remember, a lot of people decide to them a lot of states decide to them left the Union and them are going to be dead upon them own and the thing almost fracture. So if we get back the country as one, them man they kind of soothe them people their racial ego and stop that something there with a 40 acres and a mule. So, you know the checkered past of America. Some of the people them, a man who, interestingly, named Walker, he was a major landowner in one of them places there, down at them part, they down in the South. And the white supremacists, them burn up him, picnic them in front of him and his wife and chase him away and take away him land. A lot of people who actually got the 40 acres and the mule because of the scheme and the thinking of the people them say economically black people shouldn't depend even kill, use violence and thing and take back them land there from them people there, you know, that are part of the history. So America now was never ever gonna vote yes to something like that. Just them history Kind of open up a big can of worms, and they've always said they are not for reparations. Even though, you know, them give the Japanese them when they put in an internment camp, reparation. Them back the Jews to get reparation. Them give the slave owner them reparation. The only people them where America say mustn't get no reparation is black people, you know. Everybody else them all right with it, you know. But when it comes to the black people, them, America decides to no, them not forget nothing. So that's America feel. You don't have to fool yourself about them. I saw them thing. You know, Israel now try to think like an Israeli now. They are descendants of the people them who survived the Holocaust. And in their mind, the Holocaust is the worst crime, the gravest thing ever happened. Even though more black people died in the Middle Passage. Because lest we forget, there were times when the ships were too overloaded, and in order for and in terms of business, because if they owned you as a human being and they lost you at sea, insurance purposes that pay for you. So sometimes them just throw people while still in chains, just Lego them in the ocean, out of deep there. Plus the dysentery, plus the small plots, plus you're dead in your feces, lie down for your back in the belly of the ship, it has sway this, sway that. A whole of people dead underneath the holes of the ship. In the Middle Passage. Let's not talk about all of them who them whipped to death. All of the women them who them rape, all of the family them who them separate. Even though all of them things they go on, the Israeli now we say, unjustifiably so from an Israeli point of view, so the Holocaust is the worst thing. So we cannot vote and say slavery is the worst thing. No, Argentina, no. Hey, remember just the other day we are talking about a man named Prestiani. They play ball for Benfica. Put him shirt over him mouth and a ball out. Mono. Remember? The black Finny. I mean, I say no, Argentina now had slavery from 1536 until its abolition in 1830. There. Because slavery did there all across the Americas. North America, Central America, South America, and the Caribbean. Everywhere, slavery did there. None of them countries they can't tell you, say, them never take part in it. From the southernmost tip, we have Argentina and Chile. Where if you look at Chile now, you don't see no black man neither. And if you look at Paraguay, you don't see no neither. Right? But Argentina have this thing against black people. And interestingly, if you check out Argentina and their makeup, them have the highest set of Israelis outside of the Israeli diaspora living in Argentina. And also, you know, down there, you know, you have a lot of Nazis too, who did run away from Germany and settle in Argentina and Brazil to get away from the Nuremberg trials. So Argentina is a place where politically and racially against I and I with our melanated skin, you know. There was a war between Argentina and Uruguay, I think, where them send the majority of them black people on the front line and a whole heap of them people they dead off in the war there. And the remainder of them Them send them chase go over in Brazil and they took a concerted and concentrated effort to whitewash them society. So Argentina now a vote say a thing, them brother there show it time and time and time again. Say if you're black, you not even must stay back. You're going to come under serious attack. Down Argentina there. You remember a baller used to play for Argentina named Juan Sebastian Veron?
Yes, I do.
No baller there?
Mm-hmm.
Him have nappy head. He moved away with a car in Jamaica, Browning.
The brown man, yes.
Yeah, but you know say him black. You can't say him black. He might play for Argentina and miss a penalty, you know. That big baller, you know.
Mm-hmm.
A man you used to play for Tudor.
Yeah, man, he plays for Man U.
Yeah.
Interbell.
And he missed a penalty for Argentina. No, them not forgive him, you know. Him come on that serious argument down there and all him pick the them, you know. See? Down there, you know. And there is a incident where there's an Argentinian girl because Brazil now go ban racism and she go over Brazil and I make monkey sound. It go viral on social media. And I deal it because she must go in a one club and I behave somewhere and them ejected her. And she never loved that and she never and I make monkey sound and all these things. And she there Brazil on a ball if we go back to Argentina because they want to send her go to prison. So Argentinians historically are rabid racists. So I understand why them three countries they vote no, though.
All right, I hear you. However, now the resolution recognizes, quote, the gravest crime against humanity. How many people died during the Holocaust? I believe it was 6 million.
6 million.
How long was the Holocaust? A number of years, correct?
Not a decade.
Not a decade. Slavery was
400 years.
Right? More than 15 million enslaved people were killed during the Atlantic slave trade.
Yeah.
Right? So that's more than double the Holocaust.
Yeah.
So, and slavery created a societal hierarchy that persists today, where
Here you go.
black people still to this day suffer from systematic racism. Right?
Here you go.
There is no doubt for me that slavery is the gravest crime against humanity. So that's a fact. And for those countries to vote against it, not even abstain, to me, that's just wrong. Right? And for the US especially, that indicates that you have no intention, right, of atoning for the injustice that was done against people of African descent, against black people. Right? So for me, there is no excuse whatsoever.
None whatsoever. None whatsoever. But I just look on it because sometimes, you know, you have to look through a next man's spectacle if you know how he might think, if you know where you there. So my reason for saying America do it that way there because of this, Israel do it that way there because of that, and them brother they from down in Argentina.
Yes.
Do it because of that. See?
That's right.
But you know, take away from the fact, say, what a piece of wickedness them go on with against melanated people.
That's right. That's right.
Eh?
Yeah.
And them come now, all one of the major slave trader them. No remember what him name. Come make a him Where
That's
black people are sing. Me say, when time Dylan Roof go down to the people them church, go shoot the black people them off and done pray with them. Mr. President Obama go at the funeral there and go sing the hymn where the slave make Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound, where save a rich life. It's a slave trader make the song there, you know. Black people don't sing it, you know.
Yes. But Carrie, what I want to touch on though is what this can mean. I mean, for the fight. Yes, the vote at the UN Assembly, it's not legally binding.
It's not
Right?
legally binding, so it's not gonna mean nothing.
No, however, I think it goes a far way in shaping opinions, right? And as the fight continues for black people to get their dues in terms of reparatory justice, I believe that this vote will go a far way in terms of influencing the voices, right? And also, Carol, I believe that this, because one of the things is that who tells our history? Not black people.
The conqueror.
The conquerors tell our history. And I think that's why this should be a springboard to shape the narrative, the education, right, of people of African descent about what occurred during the transatlantic slave trade. Because, Carol, guess what? Even as we speak right now, there are a lot of people who are watching this, black people, who are saying, no, we don't need no reparations. Right?
It's amazing. It's amazing, you know.
It's amazing, yeah. There are a lot of
It's
people.
amazing. It's amazing how
Common man in Jamaica, when you have conversations with them and you talk about reparations, they're very dismissive. They make it seem like we're begging for a handout, right? Which is not the case, right? So imagine for anybody who has a business, right? I just want to break it down to a common man terms. Any man who have a business, imagine having free labor for 400 years. What that will do for you, and what that will do for your offspring and your offspring, which is what has been happening. So it not only it not only has created generational wealth for your oppressors, right? It has also continued this cycle of discrimination against the have-nots.
Yeah, but the flip side of that now, imagine you go in Mr. John Brown place and your grandfather and your great-grandfather go in there and all him go in there and get a little scrapsies, little pig foot, pig trot as we call it in Jamaica, little pig tripe, little pig ears, oxtail and them thing there where them never want to eat. Any part of the thing where them feel like them not to eat, and that you get.
Yes.
And you do that. You and your ancestors, them are do that 400 years. While this man is being enriched and create generational wealth, on the flip side of that, a generational poverty. On top of that, a man did even say, you're nothing read and write. A crime.
That's correct.
And a dead, you go dead if you find out, say, yeah, read. So, the part about the generational wealth creation and the man who have the business. But one to the man who do the work.
Exactly.
Be a put him a walk coming to your place. Don't care it cold. You sleep a ground. And you build your thing and you're nice and you're driving your Mercedes and you're all your dolly girl them and thing. And you have your Louis Vuitton and this and that and you live way up in the hilltop and hold by acre land.
That's right.
So what about that man? After 400 years now, when the world now realize that what did I do? A wickedness. I just pay back the man them something make him and him future generation can live a decent life. Where we are big? Where we are big? Where we are big? And a big we are big no handout. So reason it out with me now, black people who have that little mindset, that little, like you live in an Uncle Tom cabin. Reason it out with me. Uno say a damn foolishness in our chat. All right, yeah, you know. I will talk about reparation now. Yeah, you know. Oh, we would have. Because the issue of reparation, you know, is a thing where what? You're gonna give everybody a check for £1.5 million. Who are the descendants of the slave? Me get it, you get it. Or the countries who benefited the most from slavery shall ensure that the countries that were affected and the race of people them that were more affected by slavery are able to feed, clothe, and shelter themselves without the burden of debt and poor infrastructure. Now, me, I reason with one of my brethren, and him give me theme thoughts on reparations, and I think I would have liked share it in another forum here. The brethren say, instead of gonna give everybody our money, in Jamaica's case, England now, and in 80s case, France, and in Cuba's case, Spain. Now, should I go to this country, make sure them have a first world healthcare system, them have adequate amount of university from early childhood education up to the tertiary level, first world modern facilities for education, make sure that the infrastructure down at Jamaica is up to a first world standard, and write off the debt. So if a man down at Jamaica decides, say, boy, him want have a lawnmower and him love cut grass and him is a landscaper and that is his passion, him can easily make a living, feed, shelter, and clothe him family, and drive a little Toyota Corolla. Go and come. And it ease of him. And Jamaica not burdened by this big debt situation where every dollar we make 90 cents gone over. So to UNO can still slavery that, write off them debt there and make them country there able to develop themselves. So because if we look on the reality of it, 400 years worth of people dead already when it actually endure it. See? And then another century after that, the people them who inherit whatever psychological, economical, social, and political side effect with that cause negatively, enough of them dead already. But the future generations must be compensated for what it happened to them ancestor. So probably like me or you at our age, now I go really see the fruit of if it happen tomorrow morning. Now I go really reap the real fruit of it. But the tree would it plant, and maybe down the line, future generations of black Jamaicans, black Haitians, black Cubans, black Brazilians, black this, black Americans have a real economic foundation for stand up, to really create some generational wealth, and not just one and two away we can run fast or can sing good or have a special talent where you get extra money for. Really come out of it. It's really a concerted effort to compensate the descendants of chattel slavery. And then now, what go on now? Hold on there. What go on now over Africa? We want to go over there, go take with them sons and daughters and most brilliant mind and go colonize them too. You know, this whole slavery argument. Now forget Africa Unite, you know. Because over there, you know, go, you know. Go take with the people, you know. And still go colonize over there, so. So we now deal with Africa. The same thing must obtain over there too. This is the only way me see it. How you sound?
Yeah, man. Two things I want, yeah, man, it sound good, man. But two things I want to address. One, you brought up, you know, programs, you know, for reparations. And I agree with implementing programs, right? I agree with what he said about clearing the debts. However, you indicated, and I'm not sure if that's the point you made, but I've heard this point a lot, that black people shouldn't get cash payments. I disagree with that completely, right? I think it should be a mixture, but there should be some element of cash payment involved, and to allow people to do what they want with that payment, right? Obviously, we should embark on an educational program, right? So people, the argument is that, boy, if we get it, man, people, them are going to waste the money on Jordans and buy Cadillac and buy this and buy big car, right? That's wrong. Black people are the only people who get police like that, right? Like we don't have no sense. I disagree with that completely.
All right.
So they can put the money to good use, but it should be a mixture of program,
yeah,
and a mixture of cash payments.
Valid
right?
reason, you know. Good point to make. But as I say, the notion exists that black people are, by and large, consumers.
Yes, that's right.
Right? And you get average black man 1.5 million euro. You go buy a Benz. You go buy a Louis Vuitton bag, film girl. Probably buy a house where you don't really need. We're hard to maintain and cost this and two tools. The money gone right back to the people them who did give it. So them give it to the one and to go back. There's that argument. And in some cases, some of us make that argument valid. But I just say, if me want to take my money and go a rum bar, go drink Ray and Nebby with it, and I walk my money. And my money, you know.
No, your money. Exactly. Your money. That's right. Right? And another thing, Carol, another point that should be made. Our governments have not been the best at allocating, at handling money in general. And not pointing to any specific government, but government in general.
Across the Caribbean and Africa, we have a problem with that.
Yes, exactly. So I think to put the money entirely, right, up to them, maybe not the best decision. There's another point you made, Carrie, that I want to touch on. Last point before we wrap up. You mentioned Africa should also benefit, right? I agree with you, but I must highlight that there are some, disagreement within the black diaspora about Ghana's role in this resolution. And a lot of people, particularly, black Americans, and particularly the group called FBAs, the Foundation of Black Americans.
Here we go again.
Displeasure about Ghana's role in bringing this resolution to the floor. And according to them, Ghana doing a spin, right? They want to absolve themselves from their role in slavery while benefiting from reparations that are due, they say, to black Americans. What do you feel about that?
I wouldn't even surprised if them youth, they say only black American alone must get reparation.
That's right.
You understand? Right now, to how them attack right now, me not really have no space for them argument, because they are looking at it, and I'm going to be honest about it still. They are looking at it to say there were some Ghanaians back in those days who assisted the slave traders to capture them own people and put them on the slave ship. And this is a thing where them teach us to make we feel bad about ourselves. Say African sell other African into slavery. And that them I go to, that them I go to. All right? But that is not an African condition. Black people. Yes, it's an uncomfortable truth. But that is not an African condition. It's a human condition. When the white man did go over China, or the Japanese them did go over there and I try conquer there, you did have some Chinese where did work with the invaders, you know. The same thing obtained over India. And don't make we look upon Europe. Oh, them deal with them one another, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So when them a tell you now, say, oh, black man said black man not slavery, and that was the end all and be all, and you must feel bad about yourself as a black man because of that. And looking at Europe and them feudal system. Look how them deal. Look how them, the man them, what them a call Israeli right now. Them are some European, you know. Over there them born, you know. And look how them deal with them. Look how white man deal with other white man. Check it out. Check the history of Europe. The Vikings and the Normandies. Check the history of Europe. How them kill off them one another. How them did. Everywhere you go, India has a caste system. Every continent and every race of people have some people who work against them own people. And you can look down at Jamaica and see it go on today too. You can look in America and see it go on now too. So that is not a thing unique to black people and don't feel bad about it, even though it's true. But it's a human condition. Which brings me to the last point though, you know, Julian. We're talking about the transatlantic slave trade, you know. But before that, you have the Arabic one, you know, where historians will tell you more people died in another one there when the Arabs were the first slave traders, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And them started, you know. That's why up until this day, up in North Africa there, Morocco, Algeria, up at them place there, Egypt. You see, be an Arab up there and think it's an Arab people. A black people place a conquer them, conquer that and slave trade. And it's going on today.
Yeah, man.
Still, African slave trade are going on with on the Arabian and the Persian Peninsula up until today.
That's
and
right.
that part of it, they don't talk. Because them Arab, they know, no one talk about it.
That's
Which I
right.
will bring with to our next topic one and the next time, you know. Because we don't know how black people can sign up to the religion of them enslaver, you know. For both sides, you know, but that's the next argument. So you know what? At the late night rap,
Late night rap.
Julian and Carla chat.
Yeah, man. So we're gonna sign out now, but I just want, before we sign out, I just want to highlight that this continues to work, right, of people who've been fighting for reparation for a long time. And it should be noted that CARICOM has been one of the most organized groups in terms of fighting for reparation. And they actually have a 10-point plan.
Yeah, where they make up a you with
for reparation. Right?
And Mr. Beckles.
Yeah, man. So big up to Mr. Beckles and the team. Big up to people like Mike
Professor
Henry.
Let's say Professor Mike Henry. Yeah.
People like Mike Henry, yeah, man.
Yeah.
You know, people fighting for reparations. Yeah. Big up to, you know, people in the US and all over who've been engaging in this fight.
I see him, Brett. Big up some icon we pass and gone, and some are still there. Big up some Peter Tosh and some Marley and the Great Burning Spear and them man who's brought the fight in terms of song. Because let us not forget the role where them man they play to bring the argument and the consciousness to the common man.
That is right. That's right.
The drum and bass.
Yeah, man. So it continues, and as I noted earlier, this is a very small step. Very small step. We're not saying that, you know, reparations coming. A very small step, and if you look at the CARICOM 10-point plan, at number 1 is the acknowledgement, you know, apology for it, for that an injustice was created, right? And while the EU and the United States and others who were engaged, right, who were practicing the slave trade, didn't acknowledge this. I think, you know, just that the vote.
Yeah, the world, the majority of the world are telling us our wickedness to go on with and we recognize that wickedness. Well, the last thing you say still, you know, What needs, this is a thing that need to be said, you know, right? All right. The transatlantic slave trade, the perpetrators were Caucasian. They were white people, right? But we must also always remember, black people say, if it wasn't for some other white people who didn't have a conscience, probably slavery would have still gone on today. Probably slavery would have still gone on today, right? We must always recognize that it's not every white person is racist or have a slaver mentality. And that needs to be said. Sometimes we want to lump up the whole of them in a one group and it's not fair to them. The Quakers were a group who was very instrumental in, especially with Harriet Tubman and the Underground Railroad, right? And the abolitionists were always there. Those are the people who did say inhumane and you must teach them to read. If you watch us movies in Amistad, you will understand. Say, white people has always, a section of them have always had a conscience. There were some of them who had a conscience and who still have a conscience in this world today.
That's right. That's right. It should be noted that even in our reparation fight,
there are some white people where fight feet.
What's his name? I think it's Gifford or something. The
Lord
QC.
Gifford QC.
Yeah. KC, you know. Yeah. And Mr. Brian.
Yeah, KC.
Mr. Brian, the founder of Cell, has been a strong voice in that fight.
Yeah, so we don't lump up the whole of the white people in one kind of fear, and that needed to be said. Because sometimes I talk about the slavery thing, and sometimes some people might hear even me talk and feel like me against everybody we're white. No, me not against no individual, no human. Me against the idea that perpetrated the horrific genocidal practice that was slavery. Boom, bam.
Boom. The late night rap.
Where we get great facts.
Yeah, man. Just like the video, share the video, and subscribe to the channel. And remember, yeah, man, tell them, Carol. Tell them what they must do.
We do treasure your opinion. So just leave some in the comment section.
Boom.
Black power.